who believe they're in power and that their power entitles them to controlling others, being who I am, not holding up my end of the deal to be quiet and grateful and not advocate for myself and not speak up and stay small, that's threatening. That's so threatening. It's subverting everything that the world promised them people like me would do. I'm complicit in my exploitation. I was making the point about accepting subverted hierarchies of power, and power being predicated upon control, and power being predicated upon the fact that if I have power, what I say goes. And I'm just thinking of the kind of person who would want power. The kind of person who would want the ability to control others is probably somebody who doesn't feel safe within themselves. Somebody who feels like they need to have control over others and control what everybody else does, is not secure within themselves and is not safe in the world, doesn't feel safe in the world. Every time that I feel the need to control something or control others and control the outcome of something, it's because I feel like my life survival is dependent on something going a certain way. And so folks who are power hungry, folks who want to be able to control the markets to ensure that their thing goes correctly, probably don't feel safe otherwise. So when I think about power in that way, and when I have that understanding of power and power structures, it makes so much sense that it's so threatening for someone like me to come along and say, you actually don't have control over me. You don't have control over me because I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of the outcome of this. Whatever outcome this has, I'm going to be okay, because my identity is not found within this profession. My identity is found in my ability to be connected to myself. And when you come at me saying that I have to be disconnected from myself in order to still stay in this relationship, because that's how I think about this, is it's a relationship. If that's where your safety comes from, is your ability to tell me what to do and me falling in line, oh, you're going to feel so unsafe. You're going to feel so unsafe because I'm not going to fall in line. And that's how racism is a fear response. It's a fear response because I'm not going to fall in line and do what you say. And that scares you. That scares the crap out of you. It's terrifying to encounter someone who you've been promised is going to do what you say because they're going to be grateful to be there because they're lesser than. You know, black woman is an immigrant, black woman is an immigrant who's first gen, black woman is an immigrant who's first gen, who's also non-binary. Like, all these identities that are identities where I'm supposed to be small and hide and be suppressed are identities that are marginalized. And that's the piece about being marginalized, is not only am I marginalized, it's a very passive term, marginalized. I'm also participating in my marginalization because my socialization has taught me to do so. The trauma responses that my ancestors have become very good at passing on to me have conditioned me to come into a space and take up less space, conditioned me to come into a space and not expect that much because I haven't gotten that much in life, conditioned me to absorb other people's issues as mine, conditioned me to want to save and rescue everyone by being codependent, by thinking that if only I can make everyone else okay, I'll be okay, because my sense of self never quite developed. I'm complicit in my exploitation. I'm rocking up and they're telling me subtly, not explicitly, which is something people miss. People miss the microaggression part of it. Subtly telling me I don't belong, subtly telling me I'm lucky to be here, counting on me having imposter syndrome, counting on me being afraid of my own anger, which tells me I have boundaries. Anger tells me I have boundaries. If you can condition me to be afraid of my anger, you've won. I'm rocking up and I'm saying I have boundaries. They're like, what? You do? I also know that I'm not lucky to be here. You're lucky to have me because I'm contributing greatly to your institution and your program. This is an equal exchange. I have autonomy and I'm not going to do what you said just because you said so, especially because it's harmful to me. You don't know what's best for me because you're not me. I am me. And now I know who I am. Not only do I know who I am, I know what's best for me, and I know you don't know that because you don't know me. This profession and this curriculum was not made for someone like me. I'm going to hold you accountable to provide the supports you promised you would. the supports that people are counting on you to provide. You talk a big game about how you're so inclusive and so diverse and so open to people of all identities. You promised me that you would take care of me. And now I'm holding you accountable to that. And I'm using parts of the law that entitle me to that right. Woo! Talk about a fear response. Talk about unsafety for someone who believes, or for people who believe they're in power and that their power entitles them to controlling others. Someone like me, being who I am, not holding up my end of the deal to be quiet and grateful, save everyone, be centered on everyone else, and not advocate for myself and not speak up, stay small. That's threatening. That's so threatening. Because it's subverting everything that the world promised them people like me would do. Not have institutional knowledge, not have wherewithal, not know what my rights are, not know that I deserve better. All those things are being subverted when what I think doesn't match what I see. Robin Ikeda says this. Robin Ikeda was a professor of mine at Chaffey College. And what I think doesn't match what I see. The logical response when my prefrontal cortex is engaged is to change what I think, right? But it takes this to be online. When I'm having a fear response, a trauma response, because everything I know about the world is being subverted, when what I think doesn't match what I see, I try to tell myself that I'm not seeing what I see. I make what I see wrong. They see me, and rather than seeing me as a person who knows who they are and being like, wow, I'm glad that you're vocalizing your needs and I'm glad that you want us to support you, they say things like, you are wrong. Other Black women haven't acted like this. Other people haven't acted like this. They've matched the expectation of what we were told you were going to do, which is be grateful to be here. In fact, you're bringing up the parts of me that would realize that I'm being exploited as well. That I, as a person, could have better in my positions of power, in my job, in my relationships, in my friendships. You're asking for more. I didn't get more when I was a trainee. This isn't what I got. I got so much less than what you're getting. You're spoiled. You're a brat. Rather than changing what they think, which is, you do deserve more support. We did promise you support. We don't have the resources. That sucks. Let's work together. You do know what's best for you. No. That would take subverting so much of how they show up in their own lives. It feels like it would take coming out of denial about how oppressive these systems are. A system where I have to earn freedom. No wonder people are acting from a place of fear. If what I see doesn't match what I think, and I'm acting from my amygdala, which is the fear center, I'm going to make what I see wrong. If what I see doesn't match what I think, I'm acting from my prefrontal cortex because I'm not having to earn my freedom. I'm not under capitalism. I'm not having a trauma response. I'm not having to cling to power to feel safe, cling to controlling others to feel safe. If what I see doesn't match what I think, and I feel safe within myself, I'm able to access my prefrontal cortex and change what I think. Changing what I think, it takes a lot of me already feeling safe and secure within myself and not clinging out to controlling others, which is not accessible in today's culture for many reasons, unfortunately.